I work at Cambois Primary School, took on the headship here 8 years ago. There were 50 kids on roll when I came. There was no child with an ADHD or statement, nothing like that. Um, and my staff team will be honest to admit that there wasn't great understanding of what special education needs look like. Not only what it looked like, but how to recognise and support that. So currently, today, we're at full capacity. We've got 110 kids. That's capacity. We have 30 learners with an education, health and care plan, so we're 10 times the national average. At Cambois, our mantra is a place where everybody is welcome. So the children, when you come to our school, they will say, we're a place where everyone's welcome. That means no matter what background you're from, what cultural preferences you have, what sexual preferences you have, also what disabilities. And we teach children from a very early age, what does it mean? What does it mean if you're autistic? What does this mean? The children learn all of that. As well as reasonable adjustments. So when I came, I said, right, why in schools are we obsessed with the most ridiculous rules that make no difference whatsoever? So why do we line children up? So we just don't at Cambois, because guess what? If you're autistic, well, actually any child, but particularly if you're autistic, you have no concept of proprioception or your own space. So if you put a child, line up what they're going to do, they're going to push, they're going to kick, they're going to shove, they're going to be out the line, they're going to be in the line. So let's just not do it. So we look at all the things that actually in schools for years we're obsessed with, and nobody knows why. So in here, if we do it because we think it works or we think it makes a difference. If it doesn't, then we don't do it. So, and actually, we're in a school, we put the shirts, with ties. Think of secondary education, shirts, ties. Yes, it's important to look smart, but does it improve outcomes for children? Absolutely not. Does uniform improve outcomes for children? Absolutely not. So what we do is we don't say no uniform, we have an approach. So if children want to wear joggers because it's easier for them, they're more comfortable, think how hard trousers are, they wear joggers. They want to wear trainers, they wear the trainers. Most of our kids in school wear Crocs in the classrooms. But we started turning all of our classrooms into trauma-informed classrooms. So we got rid of all your plastic, awful tables, your blue, lovely plastic chairs that are so uncomfortable. We have sofas, we have natural lamps, so it's more natural lighting. It's not the big old lights that you'd have in school that make those awful noises. We have high tables, we have stools, we have round tables, and we have rugs, blankets, cushions, plants. So the children can choose where they want to sit, where they're more comfortable to sit, and actually it created much more space. I think there are 8 diagnosed autistic children in that classroom, and so it's quite a big classroom, and you can feel the difference in there when you walk in. And you will see children with hoodies, and some of them have their hoods up because they need that. If I go and say hood down, why am I saying hood down? Is that impacting on their learning? So we just made reasonable adjustments to our environment. We made a sensory room out of a cupboard. Every classroom has a little sofa outside with cushions and blankets, so children are finding it overwhelming in a classroom. They can go and have a little sit outside. The teacher can see that they might need just a little bit of a movement break. We had a courtyard. We created what we call our Zen garden. So it's a little area with like egg seats and things, so the kids can go out there and swing. We have a school therapy dog, so you might have noticed him behind me before. He'll be wandering around somewhere. So we bring him in on all of the first days back after holidays, and all the times we think there might be changes in school, he always comes in because that is a major tool for supporting some of our children with anxieties. So none of those things cost a great deal of money. Do you know what? We don't do consequential, so I don't have a behaviour policy. I know it's a bit controversial, I don't know, behaviour policy. We have a relationships policy. And remember, children won't remember what you taught them. They remember how you made them feel. And yes, so the conflict of running an inclusive school alongside the education system that we are in is really, really tricky. It's probably the most challenging thing of my job, because my ethos and my mantra is very much that if you are inclusive, those things will come. But I still have the same Ofsted inspections. I still have to get the same SAT results. I'll still be putting a league table against all the other schools. So nationally for children with HAPs in a primary school, I think it's 3.2% at the moment, and we have 31%. and the whole reason for that is the inclusivity. So if you're autism, one child with autism is one child with autism, but I'd also like them to understand that actually it's about what we do as adults that impact on how that child will feel, behave, and what they will achieve. And the most important thing I can see any professional, listen to the child and the parents. And if you do that, and you might not always agree with them, and I know there'll be people who don't always agree with me, but please listen, because that's when it becomes a kind of a barrier. So, and particularly our older children, listen to them.